from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness unto light, lead us from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Good morning, Guten Morgen, Namaste. My pranams to Revered Swami Sarvapriyānanda Maharaj, thanks to whom we are able to all gather together in this wonderful new ashrama. The subject, as Swamiji has said, is Ashtāvakra Samhita, or Ashtāvakra Geetā, the art of seamless meditation. Now, why is it the art of seamless meditation, and what do we mean by seamless meditation? Why is it important? How to practice it? We'll see that later. First, we will take up this text itself. I have selected one chapter, and actually a part of one chapter from it, chapter 15. Why chapter 15? Well, in this book, Ashtāvakra Samhita, or Ashtāvakra Geetā, there is only one thing which has been stated from the beginning till the end. Again and again the teacher here states that you are Brahman, that you are existence, consciousness, bliss. And that's all. Our attention is drawn again and again to our innermost reality, our highest reality, what we are truly. That's all that the book does. And it does it, somebody said, with a grand monotony. The grand monotony. There's only one note in this whole song of Ashtāvakra. It's a non-dual meditation in itself, just to read this book carefully, quietly. Why chapter 15 then? Because throughout the book, wherever, it's like the ocean, wherever you dip in and taste it, it's salty water. Similarly, wherever you dip into Ashtāvakra and taste it, you are Brahman. That's what it will tell you. The reason why I have chosen this particular sequence, part of chapter 15, is we had a senior Swami Nishreyashananda ji. Maharaj, did you ever see? Maharaj has seen this long before our time. We never saw him. He was a pioneer of the Vedanta work in South Africa. But he was an incredible teacher and a very interesting person, very interesting Swami, an incredible teacher. I'll tell you a couple of stories which drew me to his teachings, which I read. Of course, I never met him. I'll tell you later. We don't have time for... I would love to tell those stories right now, but we'll get distracted. So you have to remind me after the talk is over in the Q&A. Tell us the stories of Swami Nishreyashananda ji. So in one place I found that he recommends this particular sequence. This chapter 15, verse 4 onwards, he says, read that. And I found it specially helpful. So often when I teach Ashtāvakra Geetā, I teach it from different portions. Sometimes I take up that sequence, and that's what I'm going to do today and tomorrow. And that's why those who are present here, we have got a handout. I think you have all received the handout. You have the 15th chapter there, and we will study only a part of it. Don't worry about the Sanskrit, because we'll chant the Sanskrit, and I will use the Sanskrit words, but I'll translate everything. You won't miss out anything. The English translation is very nice also, very precise. Before we dive into it, a heads up, an insight which I want to share. It's important because we all have an idea of spirituality. And the kind of spirituality that is taught here in the Ashtāvakra Geetā is different. If you notice why is it different, then we'll get maximum benefit from it. One kind of spirituality is, we are told that there is God, heaven, and you believe in God, worship God, pray to God. The methods we are taught are prayer and chanting and maybe repetition of a mantra, worship, ritualistic worship, times of prayer, places of prayer. So this is the one kind of approach, most common throughout the world. In India, we have a term for it, the bhakti yoga, the approach of devotion, a devotional approach. God exists and all this is true. How do we know? How do we know? On faith. You take it on faith. If you don't believe, this approach will not work. This approach of bhakti, of devotion, is based on faith, on reverence. My tradition tells me, my scriptures tell me, all the holy persons in my tradition tell me, God exists. Believe in God and pray to God, and by the grace of God, you will be liberated. You will gain whatever has to be gained in spiritual life. One approach. But the problem with this approach is skepticism. Suppose I don't believe. Suppose I don't believe. Or I believe, but differently from yours. Your holy tradition tells you that, your scripture tells you that, but mine doesn't. Mine tells me something else. Belief, it can be this way, or it can be that way, or there can be no belief at all. So this is one problem with this approach. Though it's a correct approach, it will work. If you believe in it and you practice it, it will work. Then comes another approach, which I like to call the mystical approach. There, the proposition is not that so much that you have to believe in it, you can experience it. Don't have to believe, you experience that God exists. You should be able to see God. That I have an immortal soul, Vivekananda says, if I have an immortal soul, I should be able to feel it. If God exists, I should be able to see God. That's what transformed the young college boy Narendranath into Vivekananda. That he went around in Calcutta in the late 19th century asking spiritual teachers, have you seen God? Not, do you believe in God? Have you seen God? Not, why should I believe in God? Have you seen God? And he got a straight answer from Ramakrishna, from Sri Ramakrishna, who said, yes, I have seen God. The way I see you, even more clearly, God can be seen. How? Here the method is that you practice spiritual disciplines, especially meditation. You're taught how to sit, how to withdraw our mind and our senses from the world outside, how to breathe, how to inwardize our mind, focus inwards, techniques of meditation and focus, until the claim is you will actually experience it. You will have these extraordinary experiences. The emphasis is on the word extraordinary, not available right now, but extraordinary experiences. You don't have to believe in it. You will experience it for yourself. You will see for yourself. Mystical experiences. And this is true of all religions. At the core of all religions, you will find a tradition of mystical experiences. People have seen, not just believed. They have seen. But here also, if you want to find a fault, if you want to find problems, you can find problems. The problem will be that, a neuroscientist today might say that we don't doubt that you are seeing light or having a vision of God, but that's not because you're actually seeing God. It's because you have a clot in your brain and some pressure is being put on some nerves, and that's why you're getting these experiences. It's a stroke. Or something like that. Or some will say you are high on drugs. So where I live in Manhattan, they recently legalized weed. So in the evening, many are seeing God. So after 5:30 p.m., if you go to Central Park. But that's because of the influence of drugs, of some kind of narcotic. It changes our perception. And not only just drugs or some neurological problem. It could just be the way people regarded mystics throughout history. In all periods of history, in all religions, how were mystics regarded by other people? They thought you were crazy. You're just mad. And this person thinks that he or she is seeing God. It must be crazy. Sri Ramakrishna himself, when he was the priest in the Kali temple of Dakshineshwar on the outskirts of Calcutta, on the banks of the Ganga, people thought he's mad. He used to be called the mad priest of Kali. So why would you say a person is mad or on drugs or having some kind of neurological problem? Because the experience that they are reporting is not a common experience. You say you are seeing God, but the rest of us are not seeing God. It's not a public experience. Right now, if I say I am seeing a glass of water on the table, you will say, okay, I also see it. There's a glass of water on the table. Nothing crazy about it. But if I say I'm seeing an elephant in the room, you will say, no, there's no elephant. You must be on drugs or something. Because there's no elephant in the room. If it was there, we would have seen it. If I say I'm seeing God, so I'm not seeing God. That could be one argument against the mystical approach. Again, remember, the devotional approach, mystical approach, both are true and valid and have been validated again and again throughout the history of humanity, especially in India, where there have been and there continue to be spiritual seekers who are devotees and who have, through devotion and direct experience of God, who are yogis, and through yogic practices, tantric practices, where a variety of practices have genuine divine experience, mystical experiences. So they are all valid paths. But I'm saying you could have objections. Now I have set it up for this, what we are going to do today. This is a path, the path of knowledge, the path of inquiry. It does not require us to believe. In fact, you must not believe. You must not believe. One must understand at least. It also does not require extraordinary mystical experience. You may have it or you may not. It does not require visions and things like that. All the experience that is required in this path is our daily experience, our quotidian experience. Just the experience, you are sitting here and you are looking at me, subject and object, seer and the seen. That's enough. Who doesn't have it? Or the experience of waking, dreaming, sleeping, the three states which we all experience. Who doesn't wake? Who doesn't sleep? Who doesn't dream? We all have those experiences. That's enough. Or the different levels of the human personality, physical body, the pranic body, the mind, the intellect, all of us have it. All of us are experiencing it. That's enough for this path of knowledge or path of inquiry. So it does not depend or require us to believe in anything. Not at all. It does not also require extraordinary experiences. In fact, it says what it's going to talk about, what the whole book talks about, it says it's already present. Yes, but we are not experiencing. No, you are experiencing it. It's already present and you are experiencing it. It's hidden, it's a secret, but it's an open secret. If it's already present and we are experiencing, I am Brahman, if we are experiencing it already, then why don't I know it? Why isn't it obvious to me? Why isn't everybody enlightened? Well, because it's a secret, but an open secret. Swami Vivekananda calls it an open secret. When we do see it, in fact, when we study it, we will see none of it is hidden actually. It's only hidden by our ignorance. And knowledge reveals it. Whatever is hidden by ignorance is already present. Knowledge just reveals it. There are two kinds of attainment. One is going from something which is not present. A place, an object, or a person, or some state of mind. Then you have to attain it. Suppose this is Berlin and Dresden is not here. You have to go to Dresden. You have to attain. Then you have to do something. Go from here to Dresden. Or you want some kind of object, maybe a piece of furniture or something, and you go to IKEA and get it. It's not present, but it can be. You have to get it. You have to meet a person, maybe call that person. So you have to do something which is not here right now. You have to do something to get it. Or a state of mind. A peaceful state of mind, an ecstatic state of mind, not available right now. You have to do something to get it. So that's one kind of attainment. What is not here, that you have to attain. That's one kind. There's another kind of attainment. It's already here, but by our ignorance, we think it's not here. There's sometimes people have glasses, spectacles, and they forget it's on their nose. And they look around, where are my glasses? And somebody points out, it's there, right on your nose. Oh, it's here. Now, how did I lose my glasses? By ignorance. Not actually. It was here already. Just because of ignorance, I didn't know it. And when it was pointed out to me, I found it. Not that it was lost. Not that it was regained. It was just hidden by my ignorance. I thought it's not there. And now I know it's there. All that was required was the pointing out. According to this approach, this method of spirituality, our self-realization, enlightenment is that second kind of attainment. It's already attained, but it seems as if not attained. And it needs to be pointed out. And that pointing out is this book. The pointing out is this teaching of Vedanta, of Advaita Vedanta. Something already there, we think it's not there. And the consequences are dramatic. When we think it's not there, we lead a terrible life. We call it samsara. We are hounded by fear. Being immortal, we are hounded by fear of death. Being the ever unchanging pure consciousness, we are hounded by a fear of disease. And being limitless, we are hounded by the sense of inadequacy. We want this, that, and the other thing to be fulfilled. We are caught in samsara. We need not be. The tragedy is we need not be. The door is ever open for release from samsara, for freedom into our limitless nature. Right here, right now, we don't see it. And this book tries to make us see it. That's all. Already present. Need not believe it. You can just have to see it. I love that story about Mullah Nasruddin. So he used to go trading. One story goes like this. He used to go trading in a neighboring country. And he would cross the border, carrying all sorts of goods and stuffs mounted on his donkey. And the border guard would check him. The border guard knew that he was smuggling something. But he could never find out. Every year Mullah Nasruddin came. Every year the guard checked him thoroughly. Nothing. And he would go. And Mullah Nasruddin would go around smiling, seated on the donkey with all the goods and all. Years later, when that border guard had retired, Mullah Nasruddin comes and he says, let's have a cup of tea. He says, look, I have retired. I am not going to arrest you. I know you are a smuggler. But I could never figure out what you are smuggling. Can you tell me now? And Mullah Nasruddin said, yes, you're right. I am a smuggler. But what are you smuggling? Everything is in order. He said, donkeys. So Advaita Vedanta is that. Brahman is the donkey which is being smuggled continuously. All the time our real nature is there, revealed to us. We don't see it. The enlightened one sees it effortlessly. We don't see it. We don't see it. And we don't not seeing it, we don't get the benefit of it. So this is, at least we'll get some inkling, some insight into it. Now, how does this function? What is the method? Because we know the method of devotional approach, faith and worship and prayer and chanting. And we know the method of the meditative approach. You sit like this, you turn your mind inward, some visualization is there, some mantra is there, some technique is there. What is the method of this? The method of this is threefold. First, you listen carefully. Listen, read, study. Step one. It is in Sanskrit, it is called Shravana. Second, try to understand. Reason it out. What is being said? What does it mean actually? When clarity is there, third step is meditation. Meditation means stay with your understanding. So three steps. First step, what is this teaching after all? And this step will be complete when I can say to my satisfaction at least, or the teacher's satisfaction, this is the teaching. The book says this. Ashtāvakra says this. I get it. This is what the book says. In traditional classes, they would make us memorize. Yes. So to make sure that we have got at least the basis, the text itself. And don't worry, I will not make you memorize. Then the second part is, once I have got the text, now I have many doubts. I know the text says this, Ashtāvakra says this, but I don't get it. This is my question. And so the question should be raised and answered to my satisfaction, to your satisfaction should be answered. The second stage of reasoning, in Sanskrit called mananam, is completed when I can say, I not only know what Ashtāvakra is saying, but now I get it. I understand it. I have no more questions. Then what remains? Even then one might complain. I know what Ashtāvakra says. I understand what Ashtāvakra says. But still it's some kind of intellectual, nice philosophy. It's not real for me. You promised I will go beyond suffering. You promised I will have deep, lasting fulfillment. I am not getting it. I am still the same. Americans say you are the same dude. You're still the same dude. Same guy. You have not changed. You have not become an enlightened person. You have not become a Buddha, a Jivan Mukta. So, this knowledge which I have gained and this which I have got clarity, now how to make it a living reality. where I can say, yes, I know that Ashtāvakra is telling me I am Brahman. Yes, I understand in what sense I am Brahman. And finally, yes, I am Brahman. And I can live it in day-to-day life to my satisfaction. It will flow. My actions, my thoughts, my speech will flow from that realization. Then you are enlightened. So this is the path. That Vedantic meditation is called Nididhyasana. This book is so powerful, it continuously points at our real nature. So it's sometimes useful, listen carefully, and even more carefully if sometimes you want to close your eyes and just attend to it. Because what it says is continuously present to us. It's not something you have to wait for, it's present. And if one gets a feel for that and one wants to quietly be centered there, do that. Don't worry. I will not say anything new. Ashtāvakra also will not say anything new. He'll say the same thing. With your eyes closed, when you open your eyes, he'll still say the same thing. Don't fall asleep. All right. All that is preliminary. Now let us begin. This Brahman, our limitless nature, which Vedanta tells us, your limitless existence, consciousness, bliss. Where is it? Well, it is you. That's the dramatic teaching of Vedanta. You are it, Tattvamasi. And our problem is, we already have a kind of a clear idea of what we are. We think we know. I know what I am. I am just this guy. So, in order for this teaching to work, first of all, we have to work on what we think we are. A deconstruction of our idea of ourselves. It's the old snake and rope example. We think we are seeing a snake, there's a rope, by mistake we are seeing a snake. And now somebody tells us that it's not, that it's a rope. The reality is a rope. That will not help to find the rope. That person has to tell us, that which you think is the snake, that one is the rope. It is not a snake, it is the rope. Exactly like that. You are not the body. You are Brahman. You are not the mind. You are Brahman. That should be the approach, because I am Brahman will not work until you show me that how am I not this body mind? Because I already feel I am this. I know who I am. I know what I am. What is this Brahman? So first of all, the inquiry should be into our present conception of ourselves. And our present conception of ourselves is very clear. We think we are this. What are you? This one. What is this? I. See how double, both ways it works. What are you? This, here. And what is this? I. I identify with this, and this I identify with myself. There's a technical term for this, Anyanya Adhyasa, mutual superimposition of the body upon myself and myself with the body. So, Vedanta always begins with an inquiry into who am I, or even more precisely, what am I? What exactly am I? I am Brahman right here, right now. Well, show me. Ashtāvakra rises to the challenge. Yes, I will show you. Listen. Now what we will do is, we'll start from the 4th verse of chapter 15, verse number 4, and go on. And this sequence is so beautiful. Verse 4, 5, 6, 7, whole teaching of Advaita Vedanta is complete. So it's really beautiful. We will do verses 4 and 5 first. We'll chant verse 4 first. Those who like, you can chant after me if you like. Na tvam deho na te deho, na tvam deho na te deho, bhokta karta na va bhavan, bhokta karta na va bhavan, chidruposi sada sakshi, chidruposi sada sakshi, nirapeksha sukham chara, nirapeksha sukham chara. You are not the body, nor is the body yours. You are not the doer, nor the enjoyer. You are consciousness itself, the eternal witness, and free. Go about happily. Let's read number 5 also. Ragadveshau manodharmau, Ragadveshau manodharmau, Namanaste kadachana, Namanaste kadachana, Nirvikalposi bodhatma, Nirvikalposi bodhatma, Nirvikara sukham chara, Nirvikara sukham chara. Attachment and abhorrence are attributes of the mind. The mind is never yours. You are intelligence itself, free from conflict and changeless. Go about happily. All right. Let's dwell on these 2 verses. By the way, what I'm going to do is I'll speak for a while and then we will do some Q&A in this session and again in the afternoon session. Speak for a while and then do some Q&A. Natvam Deha, the first dramatic bombshell. Advaita Vedanta is full of these bombshells, stunning statements. What we take to be absolutely common sense, we never question it. Advaita starts with that. Straight away, you are not the body. I remember reading this article in Wall Street Journal, the man who brought yoga to the West. So it's about Swami Vivekananda. In 2013, there was a nice article in Wall Street Journal written by Annie Bardak, the man who brought yoga to the West. And she writes, the journalist writes, today's Hatha yogis wearing yoga pants and stretching and all that would be stunned to realize, to hear Vivekananda say, you are not the body. Not that it is wrong to keep a healthy body and do yoga, it's good, but you are not the body. And they would be even more stunned to hear him say, you are not even the mind. You are not the body, not the mind. And that's just the beginning theme of Advaita Vedanta. It begins there. It begins at stratospheric heights. You are not the body. What do you mean I am not the body? I am the body. Here is the body. I am the body. Let's investigate. And the way of investigation is through reasoning and experience. I'll give you the reasoning and the experience is already present. I will point to the experience. Again, remember in Vedanta, this is the beauty of Vedanta, we are always talking about something which is already present. We are not talking about God, heaven, not present. It's present, but we don't see it, take it on belief. Not like that. Or I'm not talking about some ecstatic samadhi states, which is possible, but not here right now. But what in Vedanta, what we are talking about is already a fact right now. So we'll point to it, and we are expected to notice it. This process requires us to do 2 things. One is understand the reasoning, and second, more important, see it as a fact. Always ask these questions. What did he say? 1. 2, did I get it? Do I get it? Do I understand it? And 3, is it a fact? Is it already a fact? So we'll see. I'll introduce a battery, a series of such reasonings, inquiries, logic, one after another. These are not mathematical proofs. They are more like a lawyer, in a court. A lawyer gives a series of arguments to try to convince you, like that. One of my favorite arguments is the distinction between the seer and the seen. This is a very powerful, elegant argument. Whatever we experience is different from us. So the seer and the seen are different. The eyes are the seer, and the object is the seen. And the object must be different from the eyes. Notice, I see the glass of water. The glass of water is the seen, and the eyes are the seer. In a very naive way, in a very simplistic way. Let's begin there. So the seer and the seen are different. In fact, the only thing that the eyes cannot see are the eyes themselves. You can see your eyes in a mirror. You can see your eyes in a selfie. But the eyes cannot see themselves directly the way they are seeing things. They cannot reverse themselves and see it cannot. In fact, in philosophy, this is called a fault of self-reference. A thing cannot operate upon itself. A knife cannot cut itself, for example. So the sense organs cannot operate on themselves. The seer cannot be its own seer. Whatever it sees must be different from the seer. So the eyes are different from the objects they see. Now, notice the body. The body is an object of all the senses. I can see the body here. So the seer and the seen are different. I, who am experiencing the body, must be different from the body. I can see the body, I can touch the body, I can smell the body, I can even taste the body. If your tummy is rumbling from hunger, you can hear the body. The 5 senses operate on the body. The body is clearly an object. The body is clearly an object. So the body cannot be me, the experiencer of the body. Body cannot be me, the seer of the body. I am the knower, and the body is the known. Therefore, I am not the body. This is the argument. In Sanskrit is a very powerful language. In some ways, like German also, it's good for philosophy. So Sanskrit, all these arguments can be summed up in just a few words. Drashta drishya, seer and the seen. If you do that, drashta drishya viveka, the discernment of the seer and the seen, logically, first of all, let us understand that I am not the body, because the body is experienced. If I experience the table, I see the table, I touch the table, I can hear the table, I can even smell or taste the table. Therefore, I am not the table. If I experience the table and I say, I am the table, it will be a very odd thing. I am not the table. So, in the same way, I am not the body because I experience the body. Think about it. It's one argument. You are the drashta, experiencer, seer, and the body is the drishya. Very clearly, body is drishya. And therefore it is seen. Therefore it is not you. It's there. The body is there. See, whether the body is there or not, first of all, we experience the body. There's no doubt about it. Nobody can deny it. We experience the world. There's no doubt about it. Many people get a little anxious or worried about Vedanta's claim, Jagat Mithya, world is false. We'll come to that later. We know the difference between a play. In America, they have Broadway, theater. And America, cinema is Hollywood. Hollywood is cinema and Broadway is theater. What's the difference? Physically, what's the difference between Hollywood and Broadway? In the theater, you see people, actual actors, an actual set on a stage coming and performing before you. And in a movie, they're not actual actors or an actual set or anything like that. It's pictures, appearance. It's not actually there. It looks like that. Is the distinction between a play and a movie clear? In this way, in this sense, that in a play, there is something going on the stage. There are people, actually people are there. There are objects on the stage. Physically, there are some things there. Whereas in a movie, they're just pictures. They're not there. It looks like that. There are cars and people and places, but it's just pictures. Nobody's there. This distinction is there. But in Sankhya philosophy, in the philosophy of Sankhya, which is a dualism, it says that material nature is real. It's really there. And the body is real. And the mind is real. It's just that you are not the body, mind, or material nature. You are pure consciousness. That's Sankhya. You are the witness of all of this. But this is all there. Advaita says you are the witness and this is all not there. It's just appearing in you like a mirage or a dream or like a snake in a rope. Two positions. Sankhya says world exists, body exists, mind also exists, but you are not the world, body or mind. You are the witness of them all. In Sanskrit, Prakriti Purusha, the witness and the witnessed material nature. Advaita says you are pure consciousness and the world, body, mind, all of them appear in you like a movie, like Hollywood. Advaita is Hollywood and Sankhya is Broadway. But what is common to both of them? In neither case are you part of the play or the movie. You are the witness of it. So this is the first argument. Because you experience it, you are not part of it. So dramatic argument. Same point. Let us take another argument. Even more subtle, but powerful again. You are aware, and the world, the body is something that you are aware of. Swami, didn't you just say that? No. First I said there's a distinction between seer and the seen, experiencer and experienced, subject and object. There's a distinction. That's the first point I made. The same thing I'm saying with the second point. The second point is the distinction between conscious and not conscious, aware and not aware, sentient and insentient. We are aware of the body. The body is not aware of us. The body is not aware of itself. The body is not aware of anything else. The body is not aware of itself. It's not aware of anything else. It's not aware of me. But I am aware of the body, and I'm aware of other things, and I'm aware of myself. I am, in one word, conscious. I am aware. I am sentient. The body is insentient. The body is not aware. This distinction between, because till now, what we have always thought, we never thought about it, but we take it for granted without thinking. I am a conscious body. I'm a body, but a conscious body. What Vedanta is telling us to take one baby step, but it's a giant step also. You are consciousness, and you are conscious of a body. You are aware of a body. And we are invited to see, isn't it a better description? Are you a body with consciousness, or your consciousness with a body? Vedanta is telling us you are consciousness with the body, and inviting us to see that this is actually a more truthful, more clear description of the state of affairs right now. Look at the body. See, check it out. In fact, in reality, what I'm saying is not a theory. It sounds startling. It sounds amazing. Sounds strange. But the claim of Vedanta is it's already a fact. What we believe, what Vedanta tells us, what you believe about the body and yourself, that's fantastic. That's like a dream. That's like it's not real. It's a product of confusion. But what we are saying is a straightforward fact. One monk put it so beautifully. In Vedanta, you'll have to be like a little child. When you ask a little child, what is the nose? What is the nose? The child will not say, nose is the organ of sensory organ for smell. It is the organ through which we breathe in, respiration takes place. No. What will the child say? This is the nose. What is the nose? This is the nose. Our Swami, who was in Boston and Providence, Sarvapriyānanda Maharaj, he told us this story that when he became a monk many decades ago under Swami Akhandanandaji, a direct disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, in our ashram in Sargachi in Bengal. So it's a orphanage for children without parents. The little boys, they used to live there. And boys are always, little kids are always mischievous. So Swami Sarvapriyānanda, when he went there, he was a brahmachari. He was from the south of India, and he didn't know Bengali. He wanted to learn Bengali. So he told the little kids, teach me Bengali. That's one thing you should not tell little kids to do, to teach you a language. They'll teach you all the wrong things. They'll teach you, first of all the bad words, and then they teach you all the wrong things. So the kids were saying, yes, Swami, Maharaj at that time, he was a brahmachari. Yes, Maharaj, repeat after me. This is called ear, he says in Bengali. Eta kan, eta nak, this is called nose, in Bengali nak. So they reversed all of that. But a child will always point, nose, nose. Why am I saying this? In Vedanta, we have to be like that. When I say, I am conscious of the body, note like this. Don't catch the nose actually. Is it a fact? Yes. It's a fact. I not only theoretically understand it as an actual reality. Are you conscious of the body? Is it theory or... I remember in Calcutta, I was giving a talk on Vedanta. And in the Q&A, this lady came up indignantly and said, all this is fine theory. I said, madam, stop right there. Not one thing I said is a theory. Are you standing here and talking to me? Is it a theory or is it a fact? She said, it's a fact. There is a body there. You are aware of your body. That body is there or not. Is it a fact or a theory? No, it's a fact. That you are thinking, asking this question, is it a fact or a theory? She said, no, that's a fact. And you are aware that you are thinking and there is a body and there is a Swami on stage. That awareness is there or not. Is it a fact or a theory? So that's a fact. Then I am talking about that only. I'm not talking one thing extra. Knows. So, catch hold of it. I am aware of the body. I am aware of the breath. I am aware of the mind and my emotions and my memories. All of this I am aware of. I am the awareness, and the body is something that I am aware of. Awareness and not aware are distinct. They cannot be the same thing. A and not A. How can they be the same thing? They're just exactly exclusive. The body is not aware of itself. Because we mix up the body and awareness, that's why we say it's a conscious body. But no, it's a differentiate. The body is an object to awareness. The body is not aware. So this is the second distinction I want us to draw. The second inquiry. What is the inquiry? In Sanskrit, it is called Chetana Jada. Conscious, not conscious. Here, a little insight. Right now, consciousness studies is all the rage. A lot of people in the last 20-25 years, this has become a big subject. And good that we are alive at this point where science, and for multiple reasons, medical science, brain science, computer science, artificial intelligence, they have all, and philosophy of mind, they have all become suddenly very much interested in consciousness. So right now, consciousness studies is very big. Christoph Koch, who is the chief scientist for the Paul Allen Brain Institute. He's a leading neuroscientist in the world today. So he said, when I began my career in neuroscience and studied consciousness, my professors and my colleagues told me it's a career killer. If you study consciousness, it's a career killer. Your career will be finished. But now, last 20 years, it's a big thing. But the problem is, what is consciousness? Very difficult to define. So nobody is very clear on the definition. Vedanta has a very elegant definition of consciousness. It's an internal definition, it's a phenomenological definition, but very elegant definition. It's an analytical knife with which you can separate conscious and not conscious. How? What's the definition? I'll share it with you. Very simple. Consciousness is not this. Whatever you can designate as this in your experience is not consciousness. It's an object to consciousness. It's very easy to locate consciousness. This table, so not consciousness. This body, this, therefore not consciousness. You're saying this. This breath, not consciousness. It's this. This thought. Even the thought, which we are doing Vedantic thought, that's also not consciousness. It's this. That to which all this appears, that one is consciousness. The pure subject. By pure, what do I mean? Objectless subject. You yourself minus all the this. And this I'm taking from a very ancient definition from one of Shankaracharya's direct disciples, Padmapada Acharya. It defines consciousness as Anidam Chaitanyam. Not this consciousness. Consciousness is not this. As a third person, it doesn't make sense. In your own experience, you try to catch it? No, it's like that. It will make sense. So, this body, you can say this body, therefore it's not consciousness. But I am conscious of the body, clearly. So I and this body, they cannot be the same thing. Conscious, not conscious. Chetana Jada cannot be the same thing. They're different. These are all worth thinking about. Huge question in philosophy of mind. The whole of materialistic reductionism, that the consciousness is somehow the brain. This is where the question is. Is it so? Vedanta is very clear. You can say this brain, yes, then consciousness is not the brain. Brain is implicated in consciousness. There is some correlation there, strong correlation. This is technical footnote for those who are interested. If you don't get it, no problem. If you get it, it will be very interesting, thrilling for you. The strong correlation between mental events and brain activity. This is a powerful objection to all that I am saying, that you are saying consciousness is other than the body, but consciousness is produced by the brain. Why would you say that? Because brain activity is strongly correlated with our thinking, feeling, emotions, all our reported first person experiences. There is direct correlation between them. So therefore, there must be some correlation is not causation, but there must be some causation involved. We can't prove it yet. This is the final argument of brain scientists at this point. Right now, the strongest argument. The strong correlation between brain activity and your reported first-person experiences. Sensory experience, mental experience, whatever it is. Now, apply what we have learned so far. Can I say this brain activity? Yes, I can say. I can see on the screen. Can I say this thought, this pain, this pleasure, this memory? Yes, I can say. It's an object to us. Then the correlation is between one object and another object. It is not between object and subject. It is not between the brain activity and the ever-changing brain activity and the never-changing light of consciousness. That's not the correlation. Correlation is between various objects presented to consciousness in the mind and various activities in the brain. That's the correlation. And Vedanta says perfectly all right. Correlation between two objective phenomena. Why should it not be there? It's there. Clearly, brain activity and mental phenomena are correlated, and Vedanta has no objection and does not see it as an argument to show that consciousness is produced by the brain. It just shows that mental representations are correlated with brain activity. Both are objects to Vedanta. Do you see the elegance of this approach? Anyway, this is just a footnote. Second argument, conscious, not conscious. Body is not conscious, I am conscious. Therefore, the two cannot be the body. Third line of inquiry. Now it gets easier. I've done two, which are the subtle ones and difficult ones, but powerful and beautiful. Third one is much simpler. Changing and unchanging. The body is changing from birth to babyhood to childhood to youth to middle age to old. Body is changing so much, and yet I feel I am the same person. I was in that baby's body. I was in that young teenager's body. I was in that young person's body. I am in the middle-aged body. I am the same one. How? By my memory, yes, by my memory, by my intuitive understanding of myself, by my integrity as a person, and by common sense, by law, everybody regards me as the same person. But the body has changed dramatically. Now, changing and unchanging, they cannot be literally the same thing. How can it be? Changing and unchanging? Suppose somebody is running around fast, and you grab hold of that person. Then either that person will drag you on or that person will stop running. If you grab hold of a changing body and say, I am it, then you either become changing or the body will stop, which the body cannot stop changing. You do not change by your own intuition, by law, by common sense. And the body is continuously changing. Changing body and unchanging self cannot be literally the same thing. In Sanskrit, savikara nirvikara. This is enough to be going with. I can give you 5 more arguments also. At least I've got 8 or 9 battery of these arguments. If you're interested, Shankaracharya deals with them in detail in a text called Aparokshanubhuti. I counted 8 or 9 such. But I've given you 3 of the powerful ones. First argument, if you remember, in Sanskrit, is drashta drishya, seer and the seen, subject and object, experiencer and experienced cannot be the same entity. 1. Second, conscious and not conscious, chetana jada, cannot be the same entity. Third, changing and unchanging cannot literally be the same entity. And therefore, I am not the body is the seen, I am the seer. Therefore, I am not the body is non-conscious, I am conscious. Therefore, I am not the body is ever changing, I am never changing. Not natvam deho. You are not the body. Even while experiencing the body. There's a saying which I read just yesterday in one of the interesting books in Maharaj's room. And there's a great scholar, Govinda Gopal Mukhopadhyay. So in one of his books, he quotes this. It's from a medieval non-dualist, Shankara Bharati. So he says, Visparita lochana trayastu vedantinaha. Visparita lochana trayastu vedantinaha. The Vedantins, these non-dual Vedantins, they are the ones with three eyes wide open. Very powerful, beautiful thing. I loved it. With three eyes wide open. What does it mean? Two eyes wide open is the person in the world. We are looking at the world. We see the world. I am here, I am seeing the world. This is our usual way. Two eyes wide open. The yogi, the one who wants to realize God and meditate, is the one with two eyes closed, looking inwards. But the Vedantin has two eyes open, looking at the world, but also has a third eye open. The third eye is the eye of knowledge. Third eye of knowledge. Realizing that I am Brahman. This eye, looking at the world, looking at the body, and says, I am not the body. Experiencing the mind, I am not the mind. The Vedantin opens both eyes, but also the third eye. And therefore, while experiencing the world which we are experiencing, can say with confidence, Brahman alone, pure consciousness alone is real. This world is an appearance in pure consciousness. What are you? I am pure consciousness. Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya Jiva Brahmaiva Napara. How will this person say? In Samadhi, in deep meditation? Maybe. But also with eyes open. Visparita lochana trayastu vedantinaha. With three eyes open. You do two eyes open, you will just see the world. Three eyes open, you will see the world, but you realize it's an appearance in pure consciousness with the eye of knowledge. Isn't it a beautiful phrase? These Vedantins are those who look upon the world with three eyes wide open. Visparita lochana trayastu vedantina. Now, one might say, hold on. I never said I am just this skeleton, flesh, blood, skeleton, organs. I'm not that. I'm not saying I'm the body. I'm saying the body is mine. I am the self. I am an embodied person. And it is my body. That's what I'm saying. Immediately Ashtāvakra says, Nate deho. Your body is not yours. The body is not yours. You are not the body. The body is not yours. You have nothing to do with the body. So that's crazy. What do you mean I don't have? This is my body. The Vedantin asks, Ashtāvakra will ask us, why do you think the body is yours? Did you make the body? No. Even your parents did not make the body. Nature made it. All the work was done by nature. The whole construction of the fetus and the baby's body, everything is being done by nature. Do you have, you say it's your body, do you have papers for the body, documents? If the police pulls you up, show me your papers, this is license, insurance papers, that's for the car. What about your body? What papers? Do you own the materials out of which the body is made? See, the yogi will be disturbed by the sound of the the worldly person will be disturbed. We will be disturbed by the sound of the passing siren ambulance. The yogi will have such a powerful mind and concentrated that will not even hear the sound of the ambulance. But the Vedantin has ears wide open. Will hear the sound of the ambulance and say, this is an appearance in consciousness. I am that consciousness. Every disturbance in the world points back to you, the consciousness. In the world, in the body, in the mind. That's the beauty of Vedanta. Yatra yatra mano yati tatra tatra samadhaya. Wherever the mind of the Vedantin goes, there itself it finds samadhi. Doesn't have to withdraw the mind. The worldly person's mind goes there and mind gets scattered, restless, anxious, disturbed, unhappy, tired. The yogi collects the mind from all sides and concentrates in deep peace and samadhi. The Vedantin says wherever the mind goes, whatever comes in through the ears and eyes and arises in the mind, all are pointing back to me, the limitless consciousness. Because in that only they are all appearing. Otherwise you could not experience them. So you did not create the body. You do not own the body. Where is the papers? You did not make the body. You do not own the materials which are in the body. All the chemicals and all the periodic table, the materials are there. Or the old cosmology of fire, water, air, earth, space. Do you own them? No. Did you make them? No. Do you control the body? Yes, I control the body. That is right. I cannot control those bodies, but I can control this body. Therefore, I am this body. Or this is my body. No. Even the control of the body is done by nature. You just have to go to a physiotherapy unit where somebody with some unfortunate person who has had a stroke. Even the simplest of things, raising one hand, cannot do. Cannot do it. Yes, it is my body, but no control. Takes so much effort to raise one hand. Then you realize how much nature is working here. We are not operating the body, and thank God we are not operating the body. If we were given charge, the endocrine system, the nervous system, the respiratory system, the digestive system, multiple systems are running. Tremendous complexity. One of the scientists was telling me yesterday how epigenetics, the genes are switching on and off and giving rise to various characteristics in this body, various features of our body. What tremendous complexity is there in one side of one part of our body, at one level, genetic level. The tremendously complex body. If you are given charge, drive it now. Immediately ambulance will have to be called. What happened? He took charge of driving the body. Immediate collapse. Body will die. Nature is running it. We have no capacity to run this body. Bhagavad Geetā, Krishna says, Prakrityeva karmani kriyamanani sarvasha tatha ya pashyati tathatmanam akartaram sa pashyati. Krishna says to Arjuna, everything in this body, O Arjuna, is being done by nature. The one who sees this realizes that I, the conscious being, am a non-doer, not an agent of action. I delude myself into thinking I am doing things. I am the witness of all action, but I am not the doer. There's only one thing Krishna says 3 times in the Bhagavad Geetā, this one. 3 different chapters. Natvam deha, nate deho. The body is not yours. Body is not yours. It belongs to nature, or it belongs to God, or it is an appearance in Maya. Whatever you say, one thing is common. It's not yours. It's not yours. Never was. Kathopanishad calls this body a chariot, and you, the conscious being, you are not the driver. You are the passenger, and it's not your chariot. It's an Uber. You have called it, and it has come. It's taking you to your destination. So you are the witness there. Nate deha. And therefore he says, Bhakta bhokta karta nava bhavan. You are neither the doer nor the experiencer. All action is being done through the body, but you, the witness consciousness, are not the doer. It seems that we are the doer. It seems that we are doing the action. Since we claim the actions, claim doership, so the results also come to us. This is the law of karma. If we do an action, then there will be consequences. Actions will have reaction. The actions will always have consequences. Causes will have effects. So the effects of that karma will come to me, the doer of that karma. But if I realize I am not the doer of the karma, I am the witness thereof, then the actions and consequences will continue. None of them will affect me. So this is what is being said here. Bhokta karta nava bhavan. While doing all actions, you will be able to claim, I am not the doer. While experiencing everything, you will be able to claim, I am not the bhokta, the experiencer. I am the illuminer. Like, suppose in a film, or in Broadway or in Hollywood, both these good examples, Broadway and Hollywood. In both cases, somebody is weeping and crying. You can say that it's just a picture. There's nobody weeping and crying there. It's just light pictures on a screen. Or in the case of the Broadway theater, that is actually the actor is acting like that. Not that the actor is in great distress. It's a role that the actor has put on. You are the witness of these actions which are going on, but not directly implicated in them. Bhokta karta nava bhavan. Neither the doer nor the sufferer. Then what am I? Chidruposi. You are pure awareness. Pure awareness. What is this pure awareness? We'll see. Let's combine these two together. Sada Sakshi. Ever the witness, never the witnessed. Ever the experiencer, never the experienced. Ever the subject, never the object. This is called Sada Sakshi. Ever. Sada means all the time, unconditionally, the witness consciousness. Think about it this way. You are seeing some things earlier outside when you are coming through the road. Now you are seeing this hall. What we are seeing has changed. The object, it was outside, now it's inside. But I am the same one. I am the same one who experienced that. I am the same one experiencing this. That I, awareness, which experienced that, is the awareness, same awareness experiencing this. When I smell something, I am the same awareness. Awareness has not gone. When I see, smell, taste, touch, hear, thousands of different objects, of sensory objects are floating around. I am the same awareness. Otherwise, you cannot claim. You said, the one who came here is different and the one who's listening to Vedanta talk is different. No, that's ridiculous. I am the same one who came here. I am the same one who's listening to the Vedanta talk. So I am the same one. Then what has changed? The object has changed. So in seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, the objects are continuously changing. I, the awareness, am the same. Further, in action, when I sit, I am the same awareness. When I am walking, the whole posture and movement of the body has changed, but I am the same awareness. In sitting, walking, grasping, lying down, I am eating, I am the same awareness. In all actions. And in thoughts, when I think, various thoughts come and go, I am the same awareness. I do not come and go. Emotions, sometimes I am agitated. I feel agitation is coming up. Sometimes relaxed and peaceful. Peaceful, restless, depressed, happy, joyful, bored, excited. Awareness is the same. Emotions come and go. So in all sensory experiences, awareness is constant. Objects of senses keep changing and experiences keep changing. In all actions, actions keep changing. Awareness is constant. In all thoughts and feelings internally, thoughts and feelings keep changing. Awareness is constant. In all waking experiences, same awareness. When we fall asleep, the waking world goes away. Even the body goes away. Goes away means from your personal experience, first person experience. But awareness is constant. It is the same awareness which illumines the dreams. And at one time, dreams also stop. The dreamless sleep. Deep, they call it deep delta, sleep scientists. Dreamless. Awareness, Vedanta will say awareness is still the same. In waking, dreaming, awareness is still the same. So big claim you are making, Swami. No, the reason why we doubt it, the reason why we hesitate to say in death also I am the same awareness is where somehow we have convinced ourselves the brain is producing awareness. So when the body dies, brain dies, as one scientist said. All your fancy theories of awareness, consciousness, when the brain dies, the body dies, brain will die and lights out. Lights out. No awareness anymore. But that's because you are assuming that the brain is producing awareness. The brain is producing consciousness. And that's the big question before consciousness studies today. The so-called hard problem of consciousness. I always think there's so many theories of consciousness going around. That's a very interesting thing. the inability to grasp what consciousness is, that itself shows that we are thinking in a wrong way. I can just recommend to you Robert Lawrence Kuhn. He, some of us have seen the Closer to Truth. Has somebody seen the YouTube series Closer to Truth? For the last 20 years or so, 10, 15 years, he has been interviewing scientists, philosophers, people doing cutting-edge work on all the big questions. Not just consciousness, on questions like what is space, what is time, what is the nature of reality, can AI ever be conscious, what is consciousness, what is life, all these big questions he puts to the people who are doing cutting edge work. So just look it up, Closer to Truth, Robert Lawrence Kuhn. Now he has put together all that he has learned from talking to different experts on consciousness studies. It's called a landscape of consciousness. It's freely available online. Landscape of consciousness. All the existing theories of consciousness today, including this Advaitic theory I'm talking about. All the existing theories. But what I noticed was, there are 10 categories of theories. How many theories? What is consciousness? Not just 10 answers, 10 groups of answers. So many theories are floating around. That just shows that we are nowhere in our attempts to understand what consciousness is. Chidruposi sada sakshi. You are this. Look it up. Landscape of consciousness. If you search for that, you will find it. You are ever the consciousness. In deep sleep also, same consciousness exists. In waking, dreaming and sleeping, same consciousness. In life and in death, same consciousness is there. Same light of consciousness. This is called Sada Sakshi. Nirapeksha Sukham Chara. Independently. Experiencing everything independently. I just say a few words about this and I'll stop. And I'll just okay. How does consciousness experience the world? Our own thoughts, feelings, emotions, whatever is presented first person, consciousness experiences directly. But suppose this glass of water. Consciousness does not experience it directly. Consciousness illumines the mind, and with the illumined mind, the senses are getting information from outside, and that information is processed and presented in the mind, and that is illumined by consciousness. Are you with me so far? Consciousness experiences our internal experiences, our mental experiences, emotions, ideas, perceptions. Those are experienced directly. Consciousness does not need anything else to experience your mind. Just the mind has to be present. Suppose there's a feeling of pain. Consciousness directly experiences that feeling of pain. Internal experience. But external object and body also, it has to be presented mentally, then only consciousness experiences it. So, consciousness directly experiences, in Sanskrit, the antakarana, the inner instrument, and the external world is presented by the senses to the mind, and then the mind is illumined by consciousness. It depends on the mind and the senses and all to experience the external world. So this is how consciousness experiences the world. But let me say something little more subtle and startling. Let us consider our dream experiences. In our dreams, suppose we have fallen asleep and we have forgotten that we are sleeping, we are dreaming now. We don't even know that we are dreaming. Typical dream experience. Suppose you are walking around in a beautiful garden and you see a flower. Okay. Now when you wake up, you say, oh, I was on my bed and sleeping, I was dreaming. I was not in the garden or seeing a flower. It was just all imagined in the mind. It was a dream. Now let me ask the question. We vividly had the experience in the dream of seeing a flower. That seeing of the flower, it's a dream. But that seeing of the flower, let me give you two different ways of explaining how we saw that flower in the dream. Tell me which one is more true. In the dream, I saw a flower. How did I see? Well, the consciousness, I illumined the mind of the person in the dream, and through the eyes of the dreamer, the person in the dream eyes, I saw the dream flower. The consciousness dependent on the dream mind and the dream eyes and the dream flower. That's how I saw it. Or can I say the dreaming mind itself projected the whole thing? A person, eyes, flower, everything was projected by the mind, by itself. Which is more correct? Second one. Yes, second one. It's not that there was a process involved. I am this person who is seeing, and there is a dreamer's mind, and there's a dream eyes and a dream flower, and they are now connected, and now I am processing it and I'm seeing it. No, the dreaming mind imagined the whole process of seeing itself as part of the dream. And he says, Vedanta will say right now also something like that is happening. It's actually not true even to say that there is a flower out, there's a glass of water, and then there is a body, and then there are eyes, and then there's a mind, and in the mind somehow consciousness is playing, and this information is processed and sent through the eyes to the mind somehow, nobody knows how, and then illumined by consciousness. No. Vedanta will say the whole thing is consciousness alone, and at once the whole process is presented. So nirapeksha, without depending on any kind of instrument. Consciousness illumines the whole world. It's deeper explanation. Sukham chara. What's the upshot of all of this? All of this theory, all of this Vedantic inquiry and all of that? Some will say that this kind of philosophy, it alienates you. I am not the world, not the body. World is false, body is an appearance. And it's philosophy of alienation. No. He says, Sukham chara. Engage happily with the world. Here is the body, here is the mind, here is the world. Here are people, here are activities. Lunch is coming. Engage, eat happily. Sukham chara. See happily, walk happily, talk happily. Enjoy happily, suffer happily. Sukham chara. With great joy, engage with the world without any fear or anxiety. But condition, 3 eyes must be open, not just 2 eyes. Visparita lochana trayastu Vedantinaha. The Vedantins are those who have 3 eyes wide open. When you are engaging with the world, know everything that you are engaging as Brahman itself, as pure consciousness itself. If that's too difficult, you say it's an appearance in consciousness. At least that much one can say. And then engage with the world. It's fun. It's not nothing is a problem anymore. And you can live your best life then. Sukham chara. Ragadvesho mano dharmau namanaste kadachana nirvikalposi bodhatma nirvikara sukham chara. All that we did just now, you can apply that wholesale to the mind also. What we did for the body? The body is seen, I am the seer, therefore I am not the body. The mind is the seen, I am the seer, therefore I am not the mind. The body is not conscious, I am conscious. It's a remarkable statement. The mind is not conscious, I am conscious of the mind. Why? Same principle apply. This, whatever you can say, this is an object of consciousness. This feeling, can you say this feeling? Yes. This feeling of happiness, this feeling of depression, very bad. This feeling. Therefore, it is not you, it is something appearing to you. Don't say, I am depressed. I am the awareness illumining the depression in the mind. Don't say, that's wonderful, now I am happy. No. Don't say, I am happy. I am the awareness illumining the happiness in the mind. And that's more true than to say, I am happy. I am depressed. This works very well in Hindi. Those who understand Hindi I'll try my best to translate into English. Somebody said, when talking like this, somebody said to the monk who was teaching, but Swami, isn't it true to say, yes, I am happy at that point, now that feeling changed, now I am depressed. And then the Swami said, Wah, may ghoda bhi aur gadha bhi. I am a horse and I am a donkey also. When you say, I am, you are characterizing yourself. What are you? Are you awareness or are you a feeling? If you are a feeling, then you are gone. When that feeling is gone, you are gone. But you don't say, I am not gone. You say, I am the one who was happy. Then express it more precisely. I am the one who experienced a happy feeling. Correct. I am the same one who was experiencing a happy feeling. Right now I am experiencing a depressing feeling. But in either case, you are the same one. That means notice two things. One, three things actually. One, you were there before the depression came. You are happy then. You are there when the depression has come, and you will be there when the depression has gone also. That means you cannot be the depression itself. You are not tied to the depression. When it goes, it will take you away. You don't go, you are still there. That's one point. The second point is, you are aware of the depression. Is the depression aware of you? Is it saying, hey, I'm back, now you are in trouble? No. Depression is just a feeling. A heaviness, dullness, feeling bad. There's a feeling. It is not aware of you. It's not aware of itself. It's not aware of anything else. Depression doesn't say, oh, earlier that happiness was there, it's my enemy. No, depression is not aware of any other feeling, not even aware of itself, not even aware of you. So you are aware, depression is unaware. You are Chetana, consciousness, depression is an object. Therefore, you cannot be depression. And finally, Drishya, it is you are the seer and it is the seen. Therefore, you cannot be the depression. Oh, thank you, Swami, I begin to see. This is great. I'm so happy now. Be careful. That happiness is also in the mind. The moment you tie yourself to the happiness in the mind, the depression in the mind also will catch you. Next. The mind will keep changing. So know yourself, 3 eyes open, not just 2 eyes, 3 eyes open. Know yourself to be awareness and awareness only. And these things appear and disappear, you are free of it. All right. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu. What we have accomplished so far is the world and the body are included in the world and the mind. The whole thing is not you. You are the witness of it. But still a question remains. Is it Hollywood or is it Broadway? Is the world there apart from me, body apart from me, mind also apart from me? Or is it all picture, movie, Hollywood? That we will see in the second session. Do you have time for 1 or 2? No time? All right, we'll have questions only in this. Central teaching, if this is understood, grasped, assimilated a little bit, then we can proceed. Always try to be like, knows. Is it a fact? If it feel no, it's a theory, I will ask you, madam, where is the theory? At which point does a fact become theory? And you will see you will be unable to point out. It's fact all through.